Hello everyone, and welcome to the latest devlog for Vengeful Rites, a virtual reality RPG. My name's Anthony, and today I'd like to show you guys the main dungeon for Chapter 2. Now, a while ago we did a reveal of the starting area for Chapter 2. If you're not familiar, each chapter is meant to be broken into two parts: a starting area that sort of gets you familiarized with what you're going to be dealing with, and then a dungeon which is, much more hardcore, has boss fights and more involved puzzles and things like that. And the first area, which we showed in a couple devlogs ago, is available now to play test. You can opt into the beta on Steam. And if you'd like to give that a shot and give us your feedback, we'd really appreciate it. Help us refine things if anything seems a little off, or just generally make it better. But this video is about the second part of Chapter 2, which is the dungeon, which is right here, this castle. Now, it might seem a little smaller than it actually is upon first glance. Maybe not. You could probably tell how big it is. But this dungeon feels completely different than the dungeon from Chapter 1, which was the mine that you go through. And while that dungeon is all about narrow corridors and, cavernous rooms and things you would expect to find there, this one is an old rundown castle. It's actually the Serafin castle. If any of you have played the game and you paid attention at all to the story or read the books that we have littered around, you'll know that you play as a Serafin in the game. And this is actually the castle where your order originated. And now it's in disrepair. Everybody's dead. That doesn't mean that you won't have to fight anybody, obviously, but they are dead. So we've taken a lot of inspiration from games like Dark Souls for this. I mean, I hate saying that kind of thing because, it's almost like clickbait. Like, is this the Dark Souls of VR? No, it isn't. But it has been very heavily inspired, at least in the level design, especially in this area. As I've said in previous devlogs, the whole game is about going on this adventure, going on this journey, and a big part of that is just discovering what it is that you're going to encounter. So, let me buy some equipment because I don't have any in this save. Hey, buddy. And yeah, alright, so I probably should have planned this out more. I'm not entirely sure what I should show, what I shouldn't show. You know what, let's give you the basic tour, which is you've got this whole other section. Okay, so this is a main difference from the previous dungeon we did, which is the first dungeon was broken into three sections, the way that we consider it, which was everything on the right side of that big overhanging bridge in the main cavern, everything on the left side, and then once you go underneath. And what we've done in this dungeon is we still have three sections like that, but the first two are actually all in this courtyard. So you can go in any order you want. You can go on a couple of different paths. You'll find a couple of different bosses. And it's much more open to just how you feel like exploring at the moment. You're not as limited or forced on as linear of a path. The other dungeon, of course, had branching paths you could take. It wasn't perfectly linear, but it was still, you were going to fight this boss first, and you were going to fight this boss, and so on. And we still have a general idea of how we imagine people will go through this, but it's really up to you. The only thing is you can't kill the last boss until you've defeated the other two, because this door stands in your way. Now, on the other side of this door, let me see if we can get a glimpse of it over the walls. Yeah, you kind of see it. Maybe once we get up a little bit higher. But there's the main castle is on the other side of this. This is sort of the Bailey courtyard area, but the primary castle with the throne room and everything is on the other side of this door. And in order to get there, you're going to have to go and find the 6 pieces that fit into these slots. I'm not sure, again, how much I should be showing. This is a reveal, after all, so I guess I have to show some stuff. Oh, this is something I'd like to show. This is the new meteor shard, which you can actually access in the area before this, in the swamp. That's where you can acquire this for the first time. And this is chain lightning, and it's actually really good. It might be a little OP even. It might need to be balanced, but I think I'm going to use it in every playthrough that I go through now because it just seems so damn good. Alright, you know what? Let's take a walk along this path. Now again, you saw those 2 doors where you first come in were locked, and a lot of them, well, maybe not a lot of them, but a good amount of them will be locked. This one, for example, is not. I just enjoy doing that. I didn't really need to demonstrate that. It's just something I like doing. Okay, so this elevator, bum-ba-da-bum, is seemingly not working currently. You've got your down and up switch, but there's no lever. There doesn't seem to be any way to activate it. Spoiler. and it will take you. You can see there's more to it than you can actually see initially. There is a whole underground section that isn't immediately accessible until you've found that lever handle. And I'm not going to find it. We're not going to go quite that far. Now, let's see how well this works. I can maybe get a demonstration of the chain lightning and how good it is. Oh, oh damn. Panicking a little bit. Okay, come here. Let's see if we can get this demonstrated. Oh, never mind. I killed him. Whoops. Deflected his own arrows into him. Oh my god, he just hurt me. How did he hit me so hard? No. The difficulty is real. Anyway, you saw it get activated there. You sneaky son. But the chain lightning will jump from enemy to enemy, so when you're fighting groups of enemies, it makes it potentially much easier to take them on and wipe them out quickly. And I just busted right through that door, huh? Let's see, if I get up a little bit higher, maybe we can get a little bit more of a view. Not much, but you can see there's a castle on the other side. There's a lot of buildings over there. Let's, you know what, let's continue, shall we? Oh, I missed. Oh my god, I'm terrible. Got him. I don't know how long this video is going to be, guys. Not sure what to show. I'll probably end up cropping out a bit of it. See, that is the chain lightning. And now if there were enemies nearby, oh my god, he's murdering me. It would jump to them. And, you know, help me murder them. Let's see now. Oh, I've angered him. He can't get through the door either. Okay, I gotta fix that. He shouldn't be able to do that anyway. But, I see we've come across another locked door. However, there is always a way to progress. It might not always be as obvious, but it's there. What's up, buddy? Oh, that's something significant about the chain lightning, is even if it isn't bouncing, it still does additional damage to the first enemy you strike. So it makes your hits significantly stronger than they would be without it. Again, I don't know how much I should necessarily show. You know, let's just go through here. What up, buddy? Nice. Got an aggro him. Haha. Oh, now I did. What's up, buddy? Got him. Alright, so what are we dealing with here? I can show you a little bit more of this area. See, you've got some of your wandering enemies, goblin hanging out over there, a bunch of dead enemies on the ground. And now we have made it back to the beginning of it. Obviously haven't even gone through half of what's on this side yet, and there's that whole other side plus the third section there, so there's a lot to it. Basically, with the exception of a few small tweaks that need to be made, this is pretty much ready to go. There's more props and stuff we'd like to add, things of that nature. But for the most part, it's good to go. We just have to make the boss fights, and that's pretty much it. Boss fights and finish a little bit of the construction on the main castle. It's almost done, but it isn't quite finished yet. And we're hoping to get this into testing in about a month, and barring any major issues, release the patch a couple of weeks after that. So we're looking at about early to mid-September for the release of Chapter 2, which obviously took a bit longer than we originally intended. But there was a lot when we first released the game. We were like, you know, we need to get a lot of story elements in the game. There's a lot of things with the AI that can be improved. And we've been doing that continually. And we feel like the game's in a much better spot now because of that. But Chapter 3 won't take nearly as long to come out as Chapter 2 has. We have pretty much everything where we wanted. There's a few other systems we plan to add, like rings, that'll give you things like, let's say, improve your fire damage with your destruction spells or radius, things like that.
maybe reduce mana costs, a bunch of different passives. And if you have any cool ideas for them, please share them. And if they make sense and they won't break balance of the game, we'll be happy to implement them. You can leave that feedback in the comments below, or you can go to our Discord and do it there. That's probably the best place. But yeah, I think I'll probably leave it there for now, guys. I gotta say, I really like the feel of this dungeon. I love all the shortcuts, the different things to do. The puzzles are a little more, I don't know the best way to describe them, but there's more sort of riddles to them. They're a little less just finding a thing and putting it in the right place. Especially there's a major puzzle on that side, which is a little more involved, and it feels really cool. But yeah, I'm starting to ramble. So you know what? Here, just for the sake of ending this and actually showing this proper, let's give this chain lightning a good shot. And yeah, there's more devlogs coming, but again, I don't know exactly when necessarily because I'm not too big on the. Oh, I don't want to spoil too much. No, here, okay, we got 3 enemies here. That's pretty good, right? 3. Oh, Archer. Why don't you guys come over here? Hey, buddy. And we can demonstrate the chain lightning properly. If I don't die, I died immediately. Okay. Man, that's like my own game.